This is Stephanie, and this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to let you know about something that's a little new here at the Mocha Minutes Podcast. We are now participating in Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard, buymeacoffee.com is a place where you can show some support and some love monetarily to some of your favorite content creators. That includes me. So it's in the increments of either $1, $3, or $5, and you can do as many as you would like. So I just wanted to let you guys know, would love some support. So if you would go to buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It will also be in the show notes. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Mocha Minutes Podcast. I am Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, 2025. Maybe I should change my name to Chicken Little because the sky is falling, but it's going to be falling for like literally the next 4 to 8 years. So welcome to 2025. Welcome to the first episode of Mocha Minutes of 2025. And I'm very, very excited that this person reached out to me, which I'm like, I'm sorry. He did not know I was at a very low point in December when I saw that, and I went, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this podcast. I don't know if I have it. And then I get a DM from Brandon Collins from Medium Popcorn. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I couldn't say it. It's like, absolutely.
I appreciate that. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm very excited to have Brandon Collins, one half of Medium Popcorn. Sorry. I love your intro. Y'all some niggas who watching movies. I'm like, makes sense. That's it's wild because it's like the simpler you make it, that's what people really connect with. You know what I mean? Like we don't try to be too elaborate or like distinguished in our reviews. We're just straightforward. Like this is good, this is not, and then we'll share some wild stories in the podcast. That's what I love about the podcast because y'all be like, no, this movie is shit. Don't go see it.
Yeah,
this movie is good, y'all. Give it a chance.
Yeah, the biggest challenge these days is like we're like towing the line between being comedians and like, we are film critics. We're creative film critics, but
right.
The deeper we get into the film critic circle, the less that people seem to take us seriously. And and if we call ourselves comedians, that negates the work that we do as film critics and, the Rotten Tomatoes thing. So it's been a challenging like a year or two, like doing the film festival circuit and like the response we get sometimes. But nonetheless, the fans continue to rock with us and we continue meeting new fans. I actually, I was telling Justin this over the weekend, my co-host. I was subbing at school in Queens.
Okay.
And this kid, I was like proctoring, right? I'm like standing on the hallway, just making sure kids aren't acting crazy.
Right.
This one white boy walks up to me to sign out to use the bathroom, and he's signing out. He just keeps staring at me, and I'm like, this is weird and semi-racist. And then he just mumbles, "Medium popcorn," and then walks away. And I was like, what? I was like, what is happening? Why are you listening to this?
I am screaming. I'm screaming at the fact that I remember having to sign out to use the lavatory, but also that he said, "Medium popcorn. I know I'm white. I'm not supposed to be liking this, but I love this."
I mean, we have a lot of white fans. It's fine as long as they don't, say the whole song as they're singing it out loud. Say ninjas, years,
or go knit. He's like, we'll give y'all options. Yeah. Just don't say the word because it's like.
I always get random texts or tweets about people hearing "Easy Lover," which is the inspiration for the theme song. I'm not saying it's it's a parody. I don't want to get sued by Earth, Wind & Fire and Phil Jackson.
Oh my God, please! I don't want you getting food either.
No,
because one of them most certainly is a Leo, and as a Leo, when I tell you, we will literally not stop until we see bone marrow. So it's like I don't want no trouble.
I don't want any trouble.
No trouble. I mean, we kicked him out, Hulk Hogan, out of the August Leo Club for various and a lot and obvious reasons. Yes, so we don't claim him, but everybody else.
He just got booed recently, right? At the Raw.
Yeah, because the
WWE thing,
rollout
right?
of Netflix on WWE,
Yep.
and I was like, now everybody thought just this Christmas game was like Netflix. Oh, we just gonna do this one little football game. I'm like, y'all just put wrestling on Netflix. Y'all like
Mm-hmm.
y'all will take these increases and y'all will pay it because guess what? Y'all want to see wrestling.
Oh yeah, they've been low key, even though they were denying it. They've been low key building up towards live sports for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and they were denying it. Like we're not going to get into sports. That's where the money is consistently
Correct.
in
Paramount
entertainment
Plus.
in America. That's where consistent money is. There's a reason why Super Bowl is consistently the most watched thing in the country every year.
Yeah, because it's like Paramount Plus has soccer, and it's like for the most part that y'all try to make soccer American. Y'all try to make fetch happen, and it's not happening for us. But globally, I wouldn't be surprised if
It's
Netflix
huge.
does that in 2 or 3 years to
Yes.
say, Paramount, let me just take this off your hands.
I think they have a contract with women's soccer, so yeah, they're inching towards it. For
Yeah,
sure.
because I was like, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if they like literally just yank the chain from Paramount Plus and say, yeah, y'all don't need this because y'all can't handle this because literally it's all full of soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because, the Olympics is associated with NBC, y'all can't have the Olympics. They're like,
At least not yet.
Not
At least
yet.
not yet. But yeah, I mean, the Olympics, Peacock did a really good job with the Olympics this past summer.
It really was. It was so
really
good.
good. Like the app was really good. I watched live the break dancing. Unfortunately, my wife and I, we were just like, at first we were like, wait, what is with the what's her name? Ray
I wonder,
Gun or
I wish I could link through the screen, just take your black card. Like, what? we
It was bad.
don't support this. It sounds like it. I'm like, no. And I'm saying that, and I'm somebody who every Olympics, I'm waiting for badminton. Because I played badminton in high school, and I'm like, they're like, why do you care about this? I'm like, because I played singles
All good.
floor in high school.
I rode
And I
crew in
love
high
it.
school. I got you.
So, or do you get excited about like I played that sport? Let me watch.
No. When I watched a few, like I watched a few of the races on the Olympics, and I was just like, I was immediately exhausted because that's one of the most. I didn't because the thing was I like I like the idea of like rowing and being on the water and stuff like that. There's something actually kind of therapeutic about it. But a lot of people don't know like 80% of your practice for crew is just running and getting your endurance up, and I hate running. So that was like I was miserable all the time.
That's so interesting. As running and y'all are sitting and
It's
rolling.
either
You would
running or
think it would be
conditioning
like
your body.
upper
You're not in the
strength.
water.
I'm like,
No. It's
that is
you're
crazy.
building up stamina because the races are pretty long and pretty intense.
Okay.
There's not a lull in a race when you're rowing. So it's but yeah, that was an interesting time.
That is very. That is like making me. That is now I'm thinking all sorts of thoughts because now I'm thinking
I should have
about,
stuck with it.
Right, you really should have. Because now
I
I'm
should have
thinking
stuck with
about
it 'cause-
cross country. Like you remember in track
Yeah.
is cross country, and I was
Yeah.
like, because there's like, ooh, that's definitely.
I think I got the theater bug heavy. And then I started getting the stand-up comedy and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
But if I had stayed with it, I probably I'm not even being facetious when I say this, I probably could have gotten a really good scholarship to like maybe Ivy League. If I stuck with it because of the there's very few black people in the sport. And my coach was trying to gear me up to being the guy that steers the boat, which isn't the most laborious role, right? You're kind of like the captain of the boat. And he was trying to prep me for that, but then I ended up getting a lead role in the musical, and I quit the sport. So yeah, and there's no scholarships or Ivy League attention towards theater musicals in high school.
Well,
So.
I mean, Jamad, even the ones that like folks that are like actors now and they went to Ivy League, it's not that many.
No, not at all.
It's like, oh man. But Brandon, tell us about, because I said I was excited to hear about this, the Drunk Black History Tour. Because
That's right. Yeah. I'm excited about it. We're looking at a few dates for the fall. I might take the summer off or do some sporadic stuff. But yeah, like the spring and through June is pretty packed. So I got LA on Friday, February 21st at Dynasty Typewriter. Then I'm coming back to New York. In Brooklyn at Littlefield, wrapping up Black History Month in Brooklyn on February 28th. So the LA one's going to be live stream as well. So people, you can get tickets for all these shows at drunkblackhistory.com. Then March 6th, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas at Creek in the Cave which is a former venue that used to be here in Queens, New York, where my wife and I actually got married at. So we're going to be down in
Really?
Austin, Texas
Oh,
for Drum
wow.
Black History. Also, homie Justin Brown's going to be down there with me. He may or may not be making an appearance on the show.
Yay.
And then, and then I'm going to be down there for South by Southwest. Then coming back to New York, decompressing. I have a 420 show that I haven't announced yet, but your fans are getting the first sneak peek on that.
Ooh.
And then, of course, Juneteenth shows. There's going to be New York City on June 19th, venue TBD. And then also the June 20th, I'm going to be in Detroit at the Detroit House of Comedy for a post Juneteenth event. So that's going to be incredibly exciting. I'm going to be back in my home state, bringing the show there finally. So I'm excited. And all tickets for all that's available at drumblackhistory.com.
Yes, and I will have this in the show notes and have it, and I will have it in my post because I'm very excited, because nothing I love better than niggas telling history, but they drunk as hell when they doing it. So this ought to be good.
It's good. A lot of people have been complaining as of late, like especially with the podcast, like y'all ain't drunk enough. It's like, hey, like
wait a minute, are you not drinking dark liquor? Is that what it is?
Well, probably. I mean, dark liquor, that can bring out a different side of people,
Oh man.
So there's been a lot of beer drinking on the pod,
okay.
but I've been drinking rum and stuff like that because we have some sponsors that I need to finish some of these bottles. But it's also like, I think you know what it is, especially now in this political state that we're in. I think myself and the guests on the show are being we're trying to be very mindful of making sure that we're representing these people in these events with care. Like the drunk part is fun, but I actually am having more fun with the audience getting drunk and kind of like participating at various points in the show than us on stage being hammered, because it's really important for us to get the facts down and for people to really still learn. I think that's one of the biggest things that people always love about the show, the podcast and the live events particularly.
Nice.
It's like, they're like, I get to laugh, I get to get drunk, and I get to learn stuff. Like, when is that ever like a thing? It's like if you could go to school with a flask. That's how I imagine a lot of people feel about the show.
I shouldn't tell no college students, yeah, you can go to the flask. I mean, you might get put out your class, but you can bring the flask to class.
Did you ever see that?
No, but here's the thing.
I'm sure some professors had a flask.
I'm pretty sure they did, and I wouldn't be surprised because there was one semester where I took all evening and afternoon classes because I refused to get up. And so I had like a couple of night classes. I wasn't sure because a lot of people came in with cups and they weren't clear and they didn't say Starbucks on them. So
that's why
I
could never imagine going to class, especially in college. I mean, obviously not in high school either, but I can never imagine going to a college course just drinking. I mean, I would do that after class, of course.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, that's right. But I also had really early morning classes, especially when I was on campus. Like my freshman year, I think my freshman year, one of my first classes was at 7:30 in the morning. And it was an English class, But I lived on campus, so I just got up, walked over in my pajamas.
Right, so did I. So it's like early on, it's like, oh, I'm going to do these early morning classes, get classes out the way. But then people forgot to remind you got to get the fuck up. And then it's like, it's bad. I'm like, I felt like the weight of my ancestors because I'm like, I see all these white people coming in here with wet heads and Adidas slides or Nike slides and pajamas on. And I'm like, my great grandma would come back here and grab me by my ear and say, get your ass back.
That's hilarious because
and I'm like, I couldn't do it. I never went to school. I never went to any classes with a scarf on.
I appreciate that. I just, I was like, most of the time I was so hungover when I would go to this class. And then also, I think college was really, what's interesting about my life is like, my mom wanted me to grow up in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the education, right? But I think by the time I was going to college, my Nana especially, she was like, are you sure you want to go to college? Like, you like acting and writing and like, not like to be like, like, don't go to college. Like, I don't want you to be educated, but because she's like, I know you're educated, but like, I want you to
this is what you want to do?
Yeah. She's like, I want you to pursue your art. And for me, what she wasn't aware of, or maybe she was like senior year was really traumatic for me for a few reasons.
Oh no.
I've talked about on like past podcasts, like, a lot of things I have with my mom, and I was living in a motel on and off for like a lot of my senior year in high school. And I think I was just so scared about not having a backup plan career wise to be able to fall on, make sure I'm financially secure. And so I just went for my education. I took it very seriously. Like but I also don't regret going to college because that's where I met my wife. That's where I met my best friends in the world who I talk to on a daily basis, and I never had that growing up. I had friends, but I never had people that I talked to like all the time, And so I don't regret it. It's just that, now like with the economy and everything like that, I'm finally pursuing art full time, and it feels like, damn, I could have done this way sooner.
I thank you for sharing that, because I think what it is, especially for us, we don't get you should really think about like something that you're passionate about, because it's drilled into us like, you better make sure you got a job after you got out of this. You better pick something that's like, you ain't got to come back home to live with us. But that wasn't my thing either, because my parents were never like, no, you can't come back home. It's like, once you're out, you're out. I never got that from my parents. But I think for us, especially after, like, I don't know when the switch was, or what generation it switched. I could say Millennium, Gen Z, Gen X, Y, Z, Elemental P. I don't know what Gen
Alpha, whatever is happening. Yeah.
Alpha, Nu, Omega. I don't know what's going on. But it's like, it was a switch of, please do something passionate, because I think it's so many older Black people who are like, if someone had encouraged me to do this, where would I be? Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of like, it's that fear of, but what if I don't? It's like, again, what you just said, I don't have a plan B. And and people don't have a parachute to fall, or something to fall back on. So
and I think that's but what's interesting about that is like, I have a plan B. Plan B was my education, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been having a really hard time like with the corporate job market. I've been having way more success being a freelance creative than any of that. And so the fallback plan is actually like not bearing fruit at all. It's more the stuff that I should have initially been passionate about. But I've always been passionate about education. I started teaching when I was in high school, which is one of the reasons why I got into comedy. I don't think I talked about this a little bit in the past. So I was hired for a not-for-profit when I was 16 years old to teach sex ed classes to middle school.
At 16?
Middle school and high school.
Oh gosh, I gotta make a whole.
I gotta make a whole stand-up bit about it because it's so crazy. You would think that I made it up.
Because now I need to hear the stories.
But I used to teach like workshop classes on health and wellness, but then STIs, HIV and AIDS. Like I had a whole half-hour presentation I had to do on HIV and AIDS sometimes, and I would get paid to go to class, like schools. I would get paid to skip class, my own class, to go into other schools, and sometimes even talk to my peers about like sex, like sustenance, not sustenance. What was it called? Sustenance. What was it called? When you don't have sex at all, when you like hold off. Abstinence. Thank you. I was just watching the Demi Moore movie. That's why I thought about substance. But yeah, abstinence. I used to talk about the different fluids that could transmit HIV. Like it was so graphic, and I would do this to middle school classes. I would do it in front of my in high school classes in front of like girls I wanted to hook up with. It was such a weird experience. So that's why I started making jokes.
Did they have to sign like a slip to say like to attend your course?
That's an interesting question. I never got like involved in like the relationship between the organization and the schools. Okay. I remember there was one time though, like one of my old teachers, I went back to his classroom to teach a workshop, and he had like really fought against the organization, like being able to go into schools, but like obviously we were able to work and stuff. But I just remember him being like with a sour face in the back of the classroom the whole time I'm presenting. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. I mean, that's what got me my start in front of a classroom, public speaking, and just like being able to improvise like when weird shit is thrown at you.
That's it. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I know you're not taking my vote, but I definitely vote on you having a stand-up talking about
I need to make it into a bit. Yeah.
And tell like 10, 11, 12-year-olds about sex. I'm like, this is so great. I
remember,
only imagine.
I remember one kid was like, asked me, it was like a seventh grader asked me about HIV. They were like, if I'm getting massage and my masseuse has HIV, can I get HIV? And I was like, well, no, like remember the 4 fluids that transmit HIV. And then I remember like, I can't believe I wasn't fired for this. I was like, however, if your masseuse slices your back and slices their hand, they could smash it on your back and then you might have a problem. And that was fucking crazy, man.
What I remember the director, goosebumps are we talking about here?
The director of that program, she was asked to write me a letter of recommendation. I think in that letter of recommendation, she referred to me as a Dickens. like I was just very mischievous.
Not a dick. Brandon Collins, the Dickens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
Oh my god.
I haven't told these stories in a while.
Oh
This was fun.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm voting for that stand up because I'm like, I want to hear it. So I'm going to shift gears because
Okay.
I have no idea why, but at the end of this movie, I teared up, and I remember telling my mother that I watched it. It's the 668, and I remember telling her, this is something like, because she really likes his show, The Oval. She like loves that show. And I think, like, for everybody who loves Tyler Perry, they love him. And for me, it's like, I can sit here and poke Swiss, and it is Swiss cheese. It's very easy. It's an easy read about his movies. But for everybody who likes it, if you're using this for people, somebody who has depression, sometimes I watch stuff that make me feel better and makes no apparent sense. I literally have watched Wonka like a week straight during a depressive episode.
Are we talking about the original Wonka?
No, I'm talking about the one from 2023 with Timmy Chalamet. The right, exactly. It's the colors, it's the music, it's the little black girl with her natural hair, it's the giraffe. And also it's Natasha Rothwell. Like, please, anything with her in it, yes. I'm good.
I'm okay. Wonka was pretty good and stuff. For me, I have a bit. I was trying to work out this bit, and then people were just like, "This feels weird." Where I talked about prequels being more diverse than the originals. So then it's like, what happened to all these black people? Did they kill them? Because I was like, I'm thinking that Wonka was based on a stage play, and then I'm looking at it like, wait, it's not like y'all just said we're gonna make a musical movie. That's an original.
Who the hell does that? I was like, what? Who the hell does a prequel that's like? I thought it was like a Broadway play that they brought to film. That's what I thought Wonka was. I'm like, because I'm like, this is a little too musical. I'm like, this has to be based on a Broadway. Wait, there's no. Y'all just said we're gonna make a movie musical, girl, and it's prequel to Willy Wonka. And people are like, what the hell are you doing? But then it's like, yeah, it's very colorful. It's very cute. Timothy Chalamet people's attraction to him is so weird to me because I'm like, but he's so pretty and I just want to pet him and just want to like feed him.
Looking dude.
I just want to feed him pastina. That's all I want to do. I'm like, I want you to sit here because you look like you're cold all the time and you're like halfway sick.
And he looks like a bird?
Yeah. Like, I literally want to see him like sit here and let him like get water like that little bird that you dip over. I don't get, like, people are like, oh, he's so attractive. I'm sorry, who? It's like, I'm sorry, who are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. So when I explained to my mother about the 668, I was like, this only makes sense because you're a fan. If you didn't tell me that Tyler Perry directed this movie, I wouldn't believe you. Because I was actually thoroughly impressed that this is I'm glad he didn't put the whole, this is Tyler Perry's movie. It was like, yeah, I had no idea. And I think it's because, yeah, he has no editors, he has no writers. But this is history. So and these women are still alive, and these are black women. They literally will kill you.
Okay, interesting. I've heard a different perspective on the movie that like it felt very Tyler Perry-ish. That like he was just trying to be serious. Yeah, like he was less messy than he usually is. Because the last thing I saw Tyler Perry, this is the reason why, and I love Kerry Washington. This is the reason why I've been hesitant to watch the movie, is because I watched this Netflix series that he just did. Yeah, I think it's what is it?
I didn't watch the series. That's probably why I feel different.
Something in Black, and it's part 1-2 of the season that we only have, which is so insane because that show is so egregious and so wild. It's so many old black actors that you know who are just swearing for no reason.
Isn't just like you? This is one is T.S. Madison in that one? Is T.S. Madison in that, or is she in another one?
I think T.S. Madison is in it.
And I was like, that's a part of the reason why I wanted to watch it. I'm like, I love T.S. Madison, and I'm like, nope. I've seen the stuff. I saw that movie.
She's in it.
I'm like, nope.
Beauty in Black, by the way, is what it's called. But
Beauty
yeah, like that.
Thank you.
That show is so out of pocket. We couldn't stop watching. That's the problem with this movie.
It's the movie, and everybody's like, I was done after 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching this.
That was a tough one because I even had to interviewed the cast. And I just was like, they're like, it's such a powerful movie, and like, Megan Good was like praising the guy that played her husband. I was like, he is god awful. This.
That was Corey Hardrick, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do. There's some performances where you're like, what are you doing? You're in a completely different movie. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it works because everyone's just kind of cuckoo bananas, and sometimes it just comes together in editing. But yeah, he was so out there. They never made him charming. Did you watch Divorce in the Black?
No, everybody that I knew, and I'm like, and I saw like the clip, you saw the tweets and everything, but the people that I actually knew were like, they didn't make nobody I knew make it past 15 minutes, and I was like, well, that's all I need to know.
Well, yeah, the first 8 minutes are one of the wildest. It's one of the wildest openings I've seen in recent memory. But yeah, Corey Hardwick. Like there is nothing remotely charming about his character to the point where you're like, okay, Megan Good is like for real, like one of like the top 10 baddest black actresses like ever. Like from a male, like I grew up like being in love with Megan Kelly, right? Megan Good. I'm sorry, not Megan Kelly. Jesus Christ.
Girl, not that.
But Megan Good is so beautiful,
stunning.
This guy Dallas, the character that he plays. When there's no way, even in a small fucking town, there's no way this would be the dude that can keep her and abuse her and do all this wild shit and like no one intervened. Like it just made no sense. And I was just like, you know what? Like I had to watch it for the interview, but I'm like, never again, Tyler Perry. And then we got into that Beauty and the Black. So maybe he knows how to maybe he knows how to fucking get me because I was just like, yo, these things are so terrible, but like you can't stop watching them. It's like a beautiful train wreck.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Wait, so you haven't watched the 668 yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
Yeah, I literally just watched it. We had a snow day. I watched it like last day on a snow day, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. And it was, shout out to my boy Rashani because we're going to be talking about it on his podcast to recap it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it. We got a snow day tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. Yeah. And at the end, they're showing, historical
archival
video.
Footage, right?
Yeah, they're doing that. Thank you for the word, archival footage. And it was just, I'm watching this battalion of black women walking through Europe, and I'm like, why am I fucking tearing up about this? Oh, because it's fucking black women. That's why I'm doing it.
And no one tells their story. No one tells, because it's male, so obviously that's not remotely interesting, they think, to American audiences.
They're like, that's not a big deal. It's male. I'm like, male that they didn't get for 10 months. Male that people, like, there were no phones. It's not social media.
Exactly. You got to establish time period.
Nothing like that. Like, they heard nothing.
Yeah. You know what's and I think we take that for granted, and I think especially young people don't understand like how important something like mail could be.
Yeah.
And one of the most beautiful notes I've gotten recently on a script I wrote is like, it takes place in 1999, and they're like a writer friend of mine was like, "Yo, just have this character who's staying out, like waiting outside for their friend. Have them like really like have them wait for a second, and like people are passing by and they're like in their own thoughts, and like young people don't know what that's like anymore." Because we have cell phones, so they don't know what it's like. Where you're waiting for a friend outside of school, and it's like 10, 30 minutes, and you're just fucking in your teenage
you're sitting there
and,
like sitting there. You don't have
like,
a phone to play with to wait for somebody. Like you have to count the minutes because there's nothing else for you to do.
Or if you had a phone, all you could play was Snake over and over again.
Yeah. Or like, did you ever get to Tamagotchi? I had like 2 of those.
Oh,
one
God.
of them dead. I was like, oh my
They
God,
all
it's just
died.
full of poop. It's like
They all died.
They really do. It's like the kids are probably like, "What the hell are y'all talking about?" It's like, "Oh, girl, we can't explain it." But the thing about it is like, it's just mail. It's not that big of a deal. In 1943, yes, it is a huge deal.
For morale,
for both of them, because it's like, and I did not know that she was in this movie. I'm like, how the hell did I miss this? But Susan Sarandon is in this movie.
Okay.
She's playing Eleanor Roosevelt, and Oprah is playing Mary McLeod Bethune.
Oprah's in it?
Oprah is in it. And it's like it's a one scene that Oprah is in. I'm sure, and it's like, but of course, I think they showed the clip on Instagram where it's one of the original women from the 668, and they're all on a Zoom call. And of course, Oprah's there because she's Oprah. Because in my mind, I thought she was just like a producer. That's why she was there. And I'm like, oh, wait, she's in the movie. That's why she was on the Zoom link. Like, oh, okay. But I think because of when it came out, of course, like they're not talking about it at the Golden Globes this year because it just came out on Christmas, I believe. So, 2026 Golden Globes probably going to hear about maybe the young lady who plays Lena and also for Carrie playing Captain Charity Adams. So, okay. I actually recommend this movie. And I know people are like, what? I'm like, yeah, because y'all know I really don't Recommend a lot of Tyler Perry movies unless you're like, I need to laugh really hard because shit is really hard right now. I'm like, I suggest you put in a Madea movie to make yourself laugh.
I agree with that for sure. Like I would say, Madea Goes to Jail is one that like if I'm in a weird mood, like that can for some reason Madea movies can break me. It's like Madea and like old ass Adam Sandler movies or like the Wedding Singer or something like that. Like really silly stuff that like
I watched 50 First Dates and I'm like, why am I acting like I'm seeing it? I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. So it's problematic as shit, but it's just as funny as hell. Why is
that's
so
such
funny?
A stupid movie? Yeah,
it's so stupid. And it's like
that's the one with so 50 First Dates, the one when he's at the SeaWorld place, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Drew Barrymore literally, it's like she has such a traumatic brain injury, like she doesn't forgets everything the next day. I'm like, I really want y'all to like actually say if that's a real thing. I also don't want to know if that really is a real thing.
So fun thing about 50 First Dates is I used to work at this Dollar Theater in Michigan. It was like one of my a job during like my junior year to senior year in high school, and they played that movie, and so at the end they had that 311 like a love song. Yeah, like, I will always. So that I used to vibe to that because I was an usher. I would sweep the theaters, so I'd just be vibing to that shit. Like, yo, that was.
They're like, "What are you doing? Y'all don't know this shit is good." I'm
like, I'd just be dancing to all the songs.
Right. It's like, all right,
like,
guy. It's
like 13 going on 30. Love is a battlefield. I'm just in the theater dancing and sweeping and shit.
I'm like, why the hell am I like joning on? Love is a battlefield. I'm like, I am 43. I can tell my age. I have no problem telling you that. I was like, but I was not an 80s kid like that, except for Elton and Michael and Prince. Yep. And George Michael, because black people fuck with George Michael in a way that I don't think white people understand.
Yes. I love Last Christmas.
Oh my God, yes.
And my wife, I've always played especially during the Christmas season, I always play the music video on YouTube constantly. And my wife is like, why do you play this? I'm like, because one, it's a great song. It's a fantastic song. But two, when George Michael in that feathered hair, how did people not know that he was gay? Like, it just is so fascinating.
Can I tell you what mind you, I love like quoting my mother on this, but she's like, "Oh, we all knew he was gay. We didn't care because he was so fine." I'm like, "See, I'm sorry, that's black math. We don't care if you're he's gay. So what? He's still pretty." I'm like, "What they got to do with anything? Nothing." I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Oh, Stephanie, we all knew."
Yeah, that's how
she's like, everybody knew. He was in.
That's how white people felt about Liberace.
They're like, we don't care. She's like, okay. It's like, I was like, yeah, because I'm like, there's no way y'all didn't know this, so they have to like to wake me up before you go video. There's no way. You're like, it's the 80s, I guess. No, they didn't care.
They didn't.
Nobody cares. He was trade for like a good chunk of his career solo. So I was like, we don't care.
I mean, I think because we're so far along, so like, you know, we've regressed so far in regards to gay equality and like representation. But I heard a podcast with Lance Bass where he talked about when he came out, he lost a lot of work. And I was like, I was surprised by that because I'm like, when he came out, it was like, what, 10 years ago, something like that? Yeah. I think that we would be further along. Where
and it's like, girl,
ruining their careers.
Lance from NSYNC. What do you mean? Yeah. But it's like, it's like we forget how close-minded and narrow-minded people are until some shit like this happens. You're like, time out. What is y'all issue? Wait a minute. Yeah. Y'all really have an issue with this? He's been in NSYNC for God knows how long. Y'all were fine with it, and now this is an issue?
It's very odd.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Like, why do you care? Like, why do you care? If it's not personally impacting you in a negative way, why do you care?
And spoiler alert, it will never impact you negatively. It's like, girl, so he still want to sing the songs. I get it. JC is the true lead singer of NSYNC. I believe it. Every black person knows it. F that boy.
Justin sabotaged him.
He really did. I'm like,
he sabotaged his solo career. I'm telling y'all, there's a conspiracy afoot.
Listen, like if you listen to JC's album right now, you're like, this seems way before its time, because it was.
Okay, well, this is where we might differ. I'm listening to Schizophrenic, and that's the name of it.
I mean, it is.
These are facts. That album was wild. That was such a weird album. I don't know if it has I truly can't say it has hits on it, but they're. I wish he had gotten another shot, and I wish he had worked with some really good producers. I don't think Timbaland
I wish that he worked with Neptunes and Timbaland because.
Okay.
Hello.
I actually like. I would have. You know, it's interesting. Who could he have worked with instead? That could have.
You know what?
Like maybe a really good R&B producer. Like what if think of like a young Neo or something like that at the time, like who's coming out. Like because remember Neo used to write all those songs before he went solo.
He did.
So what if he had worked with him or something?
He could have worked with. He would have worked with her. He could have worked with Esther Dean because Esther Dean is very quiet and stealthy about the hits that she has written.
Yeah, interesting.
It's actually got her, Christina Milian, Carrie Hilson too. You know, R.I.P. Her career, but also you know what I think about Linda Perry and the song, like how she changed Pink, misunderstood Pink's album, Pink exclamation point. I'm like, girl, what? That album is stellar, and that's Linda Perry, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
And
that would have been good too. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he
just
like a better producer. Oh my god, I love that album. It's so good. Just in case y'all like know.
Yeah, that was a mood because I remember listening to a family portrait, and that was like during a time like shit was wild with my family. And I was like, man, this song is so real.
You're like, you know, I'm not supposed to be crying about Pink, but here I am. It's like,
and that's back when you used to watch the music videos. So like every morning I would watch MTV or VH1 music videos before I went to school. Right. And I remember that was one of the videos, and it was a very dark video, very sad. You know.
It was just like, ooh, girl, like, what's going on? Like, Pink, what is going on in your life? And what the hell is going on? But yeah, but also we're of TRL age where it's like, hey, hi, 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday, you had to see it. And you kind of wish that you lived in New York because I was not an NSYNCer. I was a Backstreet Boys fan. So believe me, I literally say, she the right kind of people. So I'm just saying. But yeah, I was a Backstreet Boys fan, still am. Think they're the better group. Y'all can fight me, even though I said JC is the true lead singer of NSYNC.
Yes, he is. My wife is convinced though that if they went on a double tour, you know, like it could possibly be one of the biggest tours ever. She's like, I think if Justin finally stopped being a bitch and
actually went on the tour with them and New Kids, I was like,
it would be huge.
This would have been blown out the water if when they were doing like, you know, that Backstreet New Kids on the Block NSYNC thing. If Justin had got off his ass and got out of the woods and got on the tour, that tour probably still would be going. They probably would have gotten a Vegas residency. It would have been very, very big for all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking like they could probably sell Madison Square Garden out for a whole week if they did that.
It's like get the whole group. It's like
but it's ego. It's ego, and that's it
really is.
That's the reason why we end up in a lot of these situations. Like as a world, as a society, it's always ego, and there's no way to control that. The only thing you could do is try to raise people to be better than their ego.
Correct. Because I'm like, girl, there is no way that you couldn't be doing a cruise like the Backstreet Boys did. The Backstreet Boys did have a residency. I think they did it with New Kids. It's like, y'all could be doing this. It's like, Justin, get off your ass. And it's like, you scared that people going to come to your show and say, we remember about what you did. The North remembers. When it comes to Janet Jackson, you are scared. You are scared of black people coming to your show going, the North remembers. But I wouldn't waste my money and then actually, like, I can't angrily watch somebody. I'm like, girl, do you know what I could do with this money?
I'm just thinking about I'm thinking about your listener who doesn't know these Game of Thrones references. It's just like Game of Thrones references. Like, just what the fuck is going on?
They're like, what the hell are y'all talking about?
Why is she just screaming?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. And fuck that last season. And I'm like, yeah, George took his money and ran. Because after like years after, I'm gonna finish this book. Nigga, fuck you.
I would have rather the series literally ended on Tyrion looking down the hall as Daenerys and Jon were hooking up, we never get another episode if we didn't have that last season. Because up until that point, because even the season before the last season, that's the season where you had like it was literally the A team of all the male characters you've seen throughout this whole series coming together to fight the army of the dead. You remember they were in the ice block?
Yes.
And they were like, yo, like Jon Snow's like, you know what? I've been through some crazy shit. Let's do this. And
Let's
then
do
you get the
this.
Hound and everybody, and you're like, yo, they finally did it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
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 it.
one of the best scenes ever.
It really is. And I'm like, and that's off book. And I'm like, so it's like, I was saying last season off book. Well, technically,
Oh, it is.
It's like that wasn't like
I didn't read the book, so
I didn't read any of the books either.
oh,
but
okay,
I
but you
think
just know that that's
it's
like
only
an
like
original.
it's like the last season is not the first season off book. I think it's before. And it's like, but they really are off book because Jon Snow lived all the way to the end, which is not in the book. So that's the first off book.
Wait,
thing
so
they
is
said
he
no.
dead in the books?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not gonna
Apparently.
lie. I think
And
I
Charmaine
actually
can quote me. She quote me like, well, actually, because Charmaine, my girl from Militantly Mixed, she did read the books. So which is why she was ready to literally go to their house and literally beat their ass because she was mad. Because a lot of people who were book readers, they were mad.
Yeah.
They're like,
but you can't say that though. Jon Snow coming back, I can see why that would upset some people, but I think that his story arc until the last season, of course,
it worked.
Was so interesting. Like when he came back and he had to kill that kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "You try to kill me." Like,
I was like,
I was your friend.
I don't want to see no kids getting killed, but I can understand why you're in the list. Like I don't know. I can say why you in the line.
Yep. Yeah, man, that show was so gangster. They killed the youngest Snow boy, not Snow, Stark boy.
I was like,
damn.
It's like, why didn't you fucking zig-zag, nigga? It's like, this dummy. It's like, you made it all the way up to this point. Like, we're like, oh, that's right, you do have another kid. I'm like, girl, what the hell? You couldn't have zigzagged. You could, none. It didn't even, like, y'all say, zigzag. Nobody said that to him. Girl, shut up. All right, we're not talking about Game of Thrones because that still makes me mad because I'm like.
I know, but John at least beat that ass. They got the revenge on him.
Yeah, because I'm sorry. Ramsay getting eaten by dogs. I'm like, oh no. I know this ain't in the book. I don't care. He deserved this.
Yeah, I mean, and what's her name? I called her Sophie, but that's the actress's name. What's the
I know what you're talking about.
sister?
It's Sansa.
Sansa, yes, yeah. When she's watching him getting eaten by
I was
the
like,
wolves,
oh yeah. I'm like, girl, you should have cut off a couple of fingers. Here you go.
Because of what he did. Like, oh my god. Yeah. They fucked him up.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, she deserves to be there. I'm like, I'm sorry, I wouldn't watch until literally they're throwing up your bones.
And his father was the one that betrayed the Starks, right? Like the Red Wedding, right? Because he's the one that had the metal under armor thing, right?
Yeah.
That was him,
I think
right?
He's the one who had the chainmail on. Yeah.
Like who nods at the mom. Yeah, that was him. He like nods at the mom, like that's that's show. Okay, we can't.
Yeah,
talk
we can't.
Like,
man, because I refuse to go back because if I go back and rewatch and then
bad.
get up to that season, I'm like, it's kind of like Once Upon a Time. I did a rewatch of that, and then up towards like that season before, and then the last season, I'm like, so fuck this. I am done. I'm like, I literally stopped my rewatch. I'm like, nope. I remember this. This is bullshit. I'm turning this off. I didn't even finish it.
Last seasons are really, really tough, especially like I got burned real. So I was disappointed with Game of Thrones. I was upset, but I'll never be hurt the way I was when I first had that experience of being disappointed with the last season, which was Lost. The way that Lost.
I'm so glad I did not watch Lost.
Because they were the whole time they're like, it's not purgatory. We promise you, it's not purgatory. It ended up being purgatory.
Was what happened.
Basically, like the whole everyone was like in this purgatory state, and when you pass, you like the end, like everyone. It was very religious the last season. I didn't.
Okay,
folks, call in. Talk about how upset you were.
Please do, because it's like, because I think I may have complained once upon a time. Someone said, "How do you think we people who watch Lost welcome to our world?" I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna watch.
It was bad. It was rough because like we were lied to as fans too. I think that was one of the first shows where like the fan base was kind of engaging with the creators. Like if fans kind of complained about something or say like we need clarity on this, they would either respond to it in an interview or they would respond to it in the show. And so I think for us taking the creators at their words, like it's not purgatory, it's not these things, we're not going to do this thing, and then they would do them. And then the last season was just so weird because it wasn't a flash. So they had flash forwards and flashbacks, right? Then the last season was a flash sideways. So it was like the beginning of the multiverse kind of shit where it was like this could be reality, but maybe
Oh,
not. And
Lord.
like we'll tell you how it fits into the real story. It was bananas, and we followed along.
Oh.
We all still followed along that series finale. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she was with me when I watched. She had no context about what was going on, and she saw me heartbroken. She's like, "I'm so sorry. Like I'm so sorry. It's that bad."
Oh my God, baby, it's
She
okay.
knows that face. She knows.
God.
She knows what to look for now. If I'm like really disappointed in something, like when we saw Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. When she saw at the end of that movie, she turned around, she turned over to me, she saw my face, she's like, "I'm so sorry." And she's like, "I know how bad this is, and I know you're even sadder about how bad it is."
Fallen Kingdom is so for me.
The opening is great.
It's
the
fantastic.
opening is really good.
It's very, girl, what we supposed to do? And okay, are they really having another movie? Because I'm like, time out. Y'all did this whole rollout of this is the last one. We bringing everybody back from the other ones. And it's like, oh, we might have another one. Fuck y'all.
That makes too much money.
Hell?
When I was working at Universal, it just like, it makes way too much money for them to ever truly let go of that franchise.
I'm sorry. It's like, oh, okay. So, and I know you're disappointed with Fallen Kingdom. Is it worse than Jurassic Park 3?
Yes, because Jurassic Park 3 was really, I remember seeing that in the theater and being like, I was like, yo, this is really fucking weird. Like, I saw all these movies in the theater opening night, every single one of them. Even Jurassic World, when I was in Peru, I made my wife go with me to go see Jurassic World. I was like, I'm seeing it's opening night. I have to see it. Yeah, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. Dominion's really bad too, but Fallen Kingdom was more frustrating because the opening is so solid and then it just falls apart immediately. Bryce Dallas Howard clearly didn't want to be there the whole time. And then at the end, it's like, hey, this little white girl's a clone, and she's also going to bring upon the human extinction by releasing animals because she cares more about that shit than humans, right? And so I'm like, so literally the world is coming to an end because a young white girl was just like, fuck it. And I was like, that's such an indictment on it's such a holding the mirror to a society in America, particularly, that I was like, I just hate everything. I hated that movie so much. And then also like the silly hide and seek with the Velasa,
I guess
host, whatever they called it, Indominus
watching them keep
Raptor.
Like, we're gonna make dinosaurs. I'm like, time out. So now y'all making fucking dinosaurs. Making new ones. We gonna make new ones. Girl, what the hell?
The Jurassic World was interesting because I was like, okay, this is how you could do this. And what would, when they were like, hey, basically at this point, the park's been open so long that kids aren't even impressed by dinosaurs now, right? So we have to create our own. I'm like, that makes sense. And then when it ended, I was like, I hope to God they don't make a sequel. I know they're going to.
I hope nobody really thinks that they're going to do this. Please don't do this for real.
Yeah. And so when they because I thought it was really solid. There's some silly parts of Jurassic World, but like, there's a reason why that movie made like $1 billion, very, very quickly. You know, I was very
impressed. It's like Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard is wearing fucking heels, and there's no fucking way that you're walking past all this merch and you're not putting a fucking flip flop or a water shoe or whatever shoe they got in your damn merch and you ain't putting it on your feet. Stop lying to me. That's like me getting into a shower as a black woman at 2:00 in the morning, and I got to get up at 6:00 in the morning and go to work. Tyler Perry. I'm like, there's no black woman wetting their hair at 2 a.m. when they got to get up at 6. There is absolutely no black woman doing that. I'm like, I will fight you. I was ready to come to his house when I saw that. It was
well,
like,
you know, he ain't got no hair. He don't know.
It was like, girl, no black. You had all these black men around you. I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you ever see any of them do this?
Well, did you see that movie, that Netflix movie he did? What was it? Fall from Grace? The black hair was all fucked up in that movie.
I think, wait.
It was so disrespectful.
Oh my God. Wait, is that the one with Kelly? Is that Kelly Rowland?
No, that's the really boring one. No, Fall from Grace is the movie with the dude, Mehcad Brooks, Cicely Tyson.
That is the one that I'm talking about.
Felicia
That's Fall
Rashad's
from Grace. Yeah. That's the one. Is a part in that movie where she is going out with Mehcad Brooks, and they came back from a date. It's 2:00 in the morning. She had a shower, wet her hair, and she got to get up at 6. And I was like, Tyler, I will slap the dog piss out of you. There is no black woman doing that,
yeah.
especially at that age and that skin tone. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. By the way, I was on set with Felicia Rashad 2 days ago.
Oh my God.
I was just like, that's black. I was like, that's black royalty right there. We weren't supposed to talk to her, but I was just like, yo, y'all can't tell me not to like smile at her or wave at her because Claire Huxtable, I had t-shirts of Claire Huxtable. Okay. Like you can't tell me nothing. So
pretty much. It's like y'all, we get it. He's a terrible person. However, comma, that's part of our lexicon. There's no way you're not going to tell me to hate Felicia Rashad, even though she supported Bill Cosby. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this with you. I get it, but it's like, oh, girl, no.
No, but for real though, like I remember when I was younger and seeing her on the Cosby Show, and it was the first time I was like, moms can be hot. Like I forgot how young I was, but I remember being like, are moms hot?
Like, moms are attractive? Like, is that a thing? You're a mother.
It's like when a teacher, it's like kind of like when you would see a teacher outside of school, you'd be like, what?
Like, why are you in here? So
why are you outside?
All right, we're going to move to Mid-Key, but I got to tell you this story. So on every Black Friday here in Maryland, they have what's called the Festival of Trees. So it's put on by Kennedy Krieger. It's like an event. Basically, it's like a Christmas bonanza. People like decorate trees. You can bet on them. They have stuff for kids. They had a Santa Claus. Well, that Santa Claus, he has a whole house. And so he was at the giant food market not that far from there. And I was there with my nephew. And he literally saw him and started screaming, "Giant Santa!" I was like, what? And I mean, like, he had his whole Santa costume. His wife was playing Miss Santa. They're all in costume. I'm like, you're Santa Claus in the giant. Like, I'm sorry, I know you're off work, but I think I'm going to cook off the jacket. Like, I don't know. You can't take off, obviously that's your beard. But I'm like, he's like, yeah, well, Santa's got to eat. I said, I'm screaming goodbye. But my nephew, like, he was like, oh my God, it's Santa Claus. And he's right there. And he's just like, hi. He literally turned it on like, hi there, how are you? And tell me what you want for Christmas. I'm like, you're in the grocery store. What is happening? I'm like, girl. But Mid-Key, okay, so Allison Hoker is the widow of Twitch. And apparently she has a memoir coming out. So that is what she is literally advertising. And in this memoir, she is talking about what her life has been like after losing Twitch, what happened like up until that point. And well, I think maybe she forgot that he has these things called family members. And so let's see, we have a family friend, we have his sister, we have a cousin who are all like, she is a flipping liar. Yeah. So apparently in her book, she is talking about like, so what got me, and this is what got me, because I was like, wait a minute, time out. When she, apparently in the clip that's from People, where she's talking about, yeah, because when we're cleaning out his, cleaning out the closet, finding him something to wear before the funeral, and I was like, time out. Why would you be cleaning out his closet 2 days before his funeral and he unalived himself? I'm like, time out. There are widows who literally can't touch their spouse's things. There are people who lose parents and or children and they leave the room immaculate. So much so there is dust because they don't touch anything. Because if it's 2 days before you are burying this man, that means his clothes still smell like him. What do you mean that you're I'm like, now see. So now you got the cousin coming out saying like, I heard the way that you talk to his mother. I'm like, see, the ancestor's gonna come get you. Like this is freaking Tales from the Hood. And they're gonna come after you. I was like, so now people are literally poking holes in her story based on what she's saying. And I'm like, and it does make it seem like she's doing this just for money. And I don't think she is. Now, I'm going to say this as a disclaimer. As somebody who is about 2 years ago, actually, no, more than almost 3 years ago, I lost my dad. And I know what it's been like for my mom. Not totally, but what she has shared with me. So when she said that, I'm like, so time out, I'm calling Fugazi on you right now. There's no way in hell you are touching his stuff and cleaning out a closet in your house 2 days before the funeral. I'm like, we're not doing that. Also saying like you found a shoebox and drug paraphernalia. I'm putting that in quotes, allegedly. And then the autopsy said there was no drugs in his system. So I'm like, girl, guess what? You could literally just write a book talking about your grieving process as you are living your life without your husband and you didn't expect to not have him.
Yeah.
But now people are coming after you. Candace Diller Bassett from Potomac said something about her, and people are giving her a little bit of shit because Candace, I hear you about your tweets about this white woman and you're like saying like you're talking about this man's mental illness and his drug problem and like you really should be protecting him more. But the reason people are, and I'm a candy cane, and I was like, you have a whole white husband? So this is very weird for us. Not that she's necessarily wrong, because her tweets came out and then all this stuff with the siblings and the family came out. I'm like, so she's not, y'all, she's not all that far off in her critique of Miss Allison. Because the other thing is, people are just like, basically people who are friends with her are like, why can't she talk about her life and why can't she bring this up? Because she also used like actual screenshots from his journal and she put it in her book. Oh baby, no. I'm surprised his mama has not come to your house and smacked you in the face. Because one, that is a lot. And apparently his family had to sign NDAs to not, basically NDAs to attend this man's funeral. Yeah. And I'm like, see, there's a lot that you're not saying. And apparently she's changed her name back 2 days. Like, it was like she changed her name back very quickly after the funeral. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is like, you know, and I have to admit that I'm like, I don't have too much to talk on this topic just because I do have a relationship with someone who is very close to Twitch. The reason why I actually found this person was through a Twitch, like, you know, TikTok video where I was like, like, what is he? Shout out to my friend Chris, does Madcab, incredible designs and merch and stuff like that. But I just discovered him through a Twitch video, and then he and I actually linked up in LA not long after Twitch died, and so you know, we connected immediately on some stuff. So I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know what's what, but I would say kind of to an earlier point you talked about. And, you know, if things are fabricated or embellished, like that's terrible and you shouldn't be doing that and tarnishing this man's legacy and everything like that. But at the same time, to what you talked about with the stress and the pain of loss and everything like that, I don't think enough people understand how grief can turn into madness in a way. I saw my grandfather the day after my nana passed. He became a full-time angry alcoholic. Like he broke, right? To the point where like he's dealing with ramifications of that now, physically and mentally. And so I'm not saying this is what is the situation. I don't think we'll ever know as like people that weren't there in this relationship, but people that can do some really scary, unpredictable things when their mind just snaps, especially if this is truly a sudden death, you know, similar to what Aubrey Plaza is dealing with right now, right, with her husband. It's like, oh my God, no one saw that coming. And so it's just, if someone takes their life and no one even saw hints of depression or a suicidal ideation, you know, it's like you said, it's just a lot. It's a lot
going on. It's like, you know, because the thing about it is like, my heart can be with Allison, but also my heart is with his friends and family. So Courtney Allen Platt, who was on So You Think You're a Dance with Allison, says, anyone who knows me knows I go straight to the source during a conflict and handle my business. But since there's clearly no shame in being so public, I haven't said a word in 2 years, but here I go. This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I have ever seen in my entire life. You are a living, breathing bulldozer. Stick to your own demons. Shame on you, Allison. Shame on your money-hungry team. Let my friend rest in peace, not your PR. So that is a friend. His brother said, we have noticed a disturbing lack of communication and inclusion concerning the children's activities and well-being. It's disheartening that their interactions with their grandmother and the wider family have been noticeably limited. So apparently, so she has not responded to the brother or the cousin or anybody else. But someone who was a fellow dancer by the name of Kelly Gibson wrote on, like it was an Instagram post, "This whole thing made me sad. He's gone. Why tear apart this name? This paycheck was not worth disgracing his name." This is from People's Post. And so Allison responded to her by saying, "I'll always love you, just trying to help people feel safe to ask for help and support." She went on to repost several supportive Instagram stories on her account, sharing this powerful message to remind us all how important it is to have open conversation about mental health. Read a message from a social media user. I'm going to stop this right here. Ma'am, if everybody's telling you you're dead, it's time to lay down. Everybody can't be wrong. Everybody cannot be looking at this like, Allison, I don't think this is the way to go. Everybody can't be like, Allison, get a journal. Or steer this to some other way. Because I don't understand how, in no way, you are not just like someone pitching, like, because I don't think she went to a publisher. I think they came to her. Like, it's like a switch. It's like he's famous.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like
right.
there might be powers that be that are like pushing this narrative.
You really should like push this. But it's like, how is nobody wanting to hear your grieving journey, and a journey that's not over and it's never going to be over, quite frankly. It's like, why are you posting his journal and stuff that people did not know? Because remember when he first passed, people were just like saying like, is there a scandal coming? Oh, he must owe people money. Oh, and it was just like,
it's a lot. It's a lot to expose your partner's inner thoughts that even you probably weren't privy to, because that's their personal diary or whatever they had to get out of their head. So that is a lot.
That is a lot. And it's like, I'm sorry, Allison, everybody can't be wrong. And the thing about it is, like, do not use the fandom of complete strangers, because that's what we're talking about here. They're saying like, thank you for sharing this. But a lot more people, like, not saying a lot more, but there are people going, now sis, this is not the way. And it's like, it's very, very telling to me that the black side of your children's family are like, we are going to beat your ass. It's like they're ready to like link up and click up and come get you. And it's so sad. And they're talking about like, they're not really talking to the black side of the family. I'm like, I have so many questions about that. But that's for another podcast. Because I'm like, there is something in the water is not clean here. It just isn't. Because there's way too many of his family going like, eh. So it's like, I know that's like, Candace's tweets were jarring to a lot of people, and they were. But after the onslaught, and I have a feeling the family, it's like, this didn't, they're like, oh, really? Oh, now we're talking about it. Let me tell your ass something. I'm like, all I need is his mama to say something. And I'm like, you know what? Allison, pull the book. I hope you're not on tour. Cancel the tour. Just, babe. I'm like, or you could, I'm like, it's so funny. We're on a podcast. You could do a podcast about your grief, but not about his thing that will not bring him back and is only making people look at him like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with him? Like, you had to deal with so much. How? She didn't know. What you mean?
I know, and that's what makes me feel like it's a monetary thing. And I mean, I know she hadn't done the show in a long time, and so maybe there's no income coming in, and so it's just a very desperate play for money. It's people do some crazy things when they're trying to.
And she has young children, so it's like you get it. It's like you get it. It's like
it's just really dark to have to get to that point.
Right. It's like you get why she took the money, but it's kind of like, oh baby.
And even if you had life insurance, which I'm sure they probably did because they were both dancers and stuff like that. When you commit suicide.
And it's like, I guess, because I think he was he still on? I think he was still on the Ellen show. Well,
he was. I think so.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, you ever think like people work on the show? I'm like, I feel like that's a corporate job, even though it's not a corporate job. So I'm pretty sure you have a benefits package. That's all I'm thinking. I'm like, you have a benefits package because you worked on Ellen. Because I'm pretty sure as an employee you had a benefits package. Like, I don't know, but
we don't know.
But love to everybody, because this is a lot. And I'm sorry if you see her, in Us Weekly with a black eye, please know her mama probably did it. His mama did it. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure if you see a video of her just getting slapped, I'm like, well, yeah, don't be surprised. I'm just saying, not wishing this on her, but just saying. So just a couple more things and we're going to wrap it on up. I'm so excited. I just love talking to you. This is so much fun.
Appreciate this.
Like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So in high key, Mark Zuckerberg, and by far, I watched this 5-minute video and I went,
nope. I don't do it. With that hair and that necklace, I can't listen to anything this
I'm like,
unless Jesse Eisenberg is performing it. I don't want to.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, you should have got, that's a very good point. You should have got, Jesse, come here. I'm going to put you in front of the teleprompter. Read exactly what this is so people won't hate me. We're still going to hate you. But Mark Zuckerberg decided to get his ass on the internet for about 5-ish minutes and give, talking about ending FB censorship and misinformation policies. Yep. So he listed, he had like nice little clips in this video. First one, he said he's getting rid of fact checkers and phasing in community notes, which is similar to X. Yep. And I'm like, girl, shut up. As someone who was like, I have been harassed on Facebook, and the person who harassed me when I reported them, they did nothing, but you put me in Facebook jail. I have friends who said, you bitches aren't shit for what you did to X person, and they're on Facebook jail. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Fact checkers, y'all don't do it. Simplifying content policies. I'm like, girl, shut up. New approach to policy enforcement. You mean how you were literally just blocking and actual activists who are being harassed by racists and any ism and obia you can think of. Yeah. You kick them off, but not them. And I'm like, okay, you got it. Bringing back civic content. I'm like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? Moving our trust and safety and content moderation teams from California to Texas, because that'll is the problem. Yeah. I was like, yeah, because we're going to move them out of California. So you're moving from a quote unquote liberal blue state to a literal red state.
Yeah, my father-in-law said he taught, like, because he lives down in Texas, and he talked about some dude at work was like, yeah, man, I'm so glad Trump's back in because now they can get those Jews who've been like making the weather so bad out of there. Yep.
Do you think
that's a thing said in 2024?
You think Jewish people are the heat miser and the snow miser?
They literally have a senator, Marjorie Taylor Greene, literally believes this shit. She said something similar too. They're out of their fucking minds.
It's like not a weather
she's not
witch,
from Texas,
not Mother Nature, but it's Jewish people. What are you talking? Yeah. Really, if you think there was an oppressed group who had the power to do anything with the weather, you don't think they would have burnt y'all to the ground by now?
Yeah, that's not Jewish people. That's mutants. We've seen Storm. You literally have seen.
Are you kidding me? I couldn't be Storm because guess what? Either y'all be frozen or fried. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. One thing. And the last thing he said was, because apparently he gave $1 million to his inauguration fund, working with President Trump, and yes, I'm putting it in quotes, on protecting free expression worldwide, because that's the person you really should be working with. Free expression. And he did this he spoke for like 5 whole minutes. Hey, hi, dear white people who are listening, stop thinking that a white person who has a non-white mate is somehow enlightened. He's not. He has a whole Asian wife. I am not doing this with y'all. He don't care. No, You're literally working with a man who literally called it the China flu. And you got a whole Asian wife. I don't know if she's Chinese. What the hell? I'm like, Mark, please. See, you just mad that they brought you down to D.C. and said, sit your ass in this chair and you tell us exactly what's going on with Facebook. You were mad that they were gunning on your ass in that daggone committee. He was like, I'm like, yeah, you didn't expect, they're like, they didn't come here to kiss your ass. They're like, what the fuck are you over there doing? He got mad. You got mad that you got called to the congressional principal's office. And now you're like, oh, y'all out. So let me tell you, I'm going to give you $1 million so you're going to have a nice little ticker tape parade. Mark Zuckerberg, you should have just gave to that HBCU's GoFundMe, who was like, we need help getting to the inauguration. I'm sorry. My internet's broken. you're an HBCU. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't. I'm like, that's it. It really is the upside down. Send the flood, Lord. Send the flood. wipe these people out. That's it. We need walls to keep y'all out. But Mark Zuckerberg got his happy ass. You got Elon Musk on X. You got Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook. It's like, girl,
and that's
anyway.
Everything. That's Facebook, Instagram, yeah. And then
Meta, Instagram, everywhere. Meta.
One of them's going to try to buy TikTok. If there's an opportunity
God.
that
if TikTok is still around.
Well, that's the thing, is like, in lieu of a ban, it might be Elon, probably Elon, because he's got the money to try to do it, to be like, let's just buy TikTok from China.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and meanwhile, all y'all folks that are talking about Beyonce the billionaire, I don't hear y'all really rallying about Elon Musk. He has several billion.
Yeah.
He literally, like, just gets up and opens his eyes and makes a good $500,000. How about y'all focus on that one and not the black woman who literally just actually enlightened y'all about how life is for black people in Texas, bro? Like, literally showing off, literally, black Americana. It's Americana. It's the black one from Texas, because that bitch is from Texas. Let's talk about Elon Musk. You know, the illegal immigrant. And by the way, Stephanie's not making this up. He actually said it. Yep. He got here illegally. Oh my God, I can't. Again, anyway, y'all drop y'all blue sky links. I know, oh gosh, it's somebody's son, and I'm blanking on his name. He played Chef on South Park. Why am I blanking on this man's name?
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes' son. Let's find fan-sided. Where is his platform? Yeah, let's go over there. Because I'm tired of y'all. Because the thing about it is, like, Brandon and I are of an age where it's like, we are no longer surprised, but being disappointed not being surprised doesn't mean we're just not disappointed. You can not be surprised that there are some rich white people who are going to maintain to be the rich white people that you think. They're going to move the way you are. That doesn't mean we're disappointed. We're not disappointed. I'm like, oh, we're still disappointed by this. Are we surprised? No. Disappointed? Absolutely. Yeah. Because y'all could be putting your money somewhere else and you're not. It's like, hey, hi, instead of like literally working your ass off to combat free speech, which by the way is not about literally freedom from consequences. It is freedom from the government telling you what to say. That is what free speech truly is. How about you work on the fact that there are children who have debt, lunch debt, and people can't just walk into schools and pay it off. They're like, no, you can't do that. There are actually laws against it. There are actually like policies against it. How about y'all work on that? How about y'all work on like children with actual debt for school lunch when lunch used to be free? I was a free lunch kid. I knew people who had reduced lunch, and it literally was like maybe they paid like 20-30 cents extra. And it's like, yeah, why are kids like, yeah, during COVID, there were kids who only ate at school. So the schools were closed. They didn't eat. How about y'all tackle that? And Brett Favre literally go choke. Sir, you better not say a damn thing. It's like, sir, don't you have a check to write? Don't you have a check to write? I'm sorry, your fingers should not be busy tweeting. You should be writing a check. Because you're literally like wanting to allegedly help assist to steal welfare funds so your daughter can have a volleyball court. When you fucking could build one because you're fucking Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. Build one, bitch. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that really pisses me off. Brett Favre really is like what? Yeah. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, what the hell is with like veteran Green Bay Packers quarterbacks, and why y'all trash? Why y'all not Matt Ryan? Why are y'all not somebody else? Like, seriously, pick another. Like, seriously, what? Hell, be Tom Brady. Please do not be Brett Favre. Please do not be Aaron Rodgers, who is a baby back bitch. Direct quote. like I'm the victim. You're not a victim. Go get vaccinated or inoculated or whatever word you use, you baby back bitch. Sorry. Last story is, and everybody has been talking about this. So it's the FS1 lawsuit that includes, of all people, Emmanuel Acho, which we shouldn't be talking about, Skip Bayless, and Joy Taylor, aka Jason Taylor's little sister. So a hairstylist has alleged in a 14-page lawsuit that Skip Bayless offered her $1.5 million to sleep with her. And I'm like, now, there's a lot of escorts and whores where he lives, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't pay you $1.5 million because that's just stupid. He could pay. Never mind. Shut up. And then she brought up Joy Taylor and her interactions with Joy Taylor, because apparently she told Joy Taylor about the harassment from Skip Bayless and also a executive by the name of Charlie Dixon, and Joy Taylor apparently told her to get over it. And then hairstylists, because, you know, hairstylists know everything. Hairstylists, barbers, estheticians, craft services, they know everything, okay? Because y'all talk in front of them and they're like, girl, or y'all talk to them. And it's like, oh, they know everything. So she let it slip that Joy Taylor told her to get over it. And oh, by the way, she was trying to get ahead. So she allegedly slept with Charlie Dixon while she was still married to some other man. And apparently that's the reason, like her. And then she also was cheating with Emmanuel Acho. And that's the cheating led to the ending of her marriage that I didn't know she was in. It's like, ah. And yeah. So that's where we are. I saw more talking about Joy Taylor, but she also said, the hairstylist said, what if somebody finds out? Joy, allegedly, in this lawsuit, said that she would just say that he forced himself on her. So I think that's the reason why we're hearing more about Joy Taylor than anything else. And I said this before we went live, that I said, yeah, this is how you know FS1 is not ESPN. Because if this was on ESPN, there would have been no new episode of that show on Monday. It would have preempted with a repeat. Yeah. ESPN would not play this shit. They literally suspended Stephen A for like maybe almost a week because of his comments on the show about Ray Rice. They suspended Jemele Hill because of a tweet that she wrote about Donald Trump. So yeah, they would have said absolutely not. So she is still on there. They did not suspend her or even like preempt the show in any way. They did not address it at all. I think that all this week. We are recording on a Wednesday. I don't watch FS1 because hey, Shannon Sharp is no longer on. Yeah, it's like I don't watch it anymore because, you know, Shannon Sharp is not on Undisputed anymore. And Undisputed. When he left, I stopped watching FS1. That was the only show I liked. Because as much as Shannon Sharp has, as of late, said some stuff, and I'm like, now, girl, what the hell?
He's so fucking. He's just.
It's like, girl, what? It's like, again, I have a soft spot for Shannon because he reminds me of so many. And I'm putting older in quotes because I swear Shannon Sharp acts like he is 62 years old and he is 57.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I accidentally, my friend sent me a link when the live stream was happening. When the live stream sex thing was happening.
When I tell you, I'm like,
he's
Shannon.
He's like, yeah, right there. I was just like, oh no.
Can I tell you? I'm like, no. I can't. I listened to a little bit of it. I'm like, I gotta cut it off because then he was. I said, girl, from the little the little bit that I heard, I'm like, yeah, you ain't no fucking old man. You're not as old as you think. I'm like, you fucking like somebody who got both of his hips repaired. Because you definitely she took them new hips for several test drives, it seems. Because I'm like, again, we ain't seen Michelle, but I'm sorry, Keke Palmer calling him hunky unky took me clear the fuck out. I said, wait, like, they don't call you hunky hunky for nothing. Who the hell call him that? Who call him hunky hunky? Who call Keke? What beauty parlor are you in? What beauty shop you in that they call him hunky hunky? Because I've never heard that.
Yeah, I mean, she was a Disney kid, so maybe she just maybe that's what they
What
call
did he say?
somebody.
They don't call you hunky hunky. Who is they?
That's
Who
the
is they?
That's when you get into some wild shit. When you finally ask somebody like, "Who's they?"
Who's they?
Like, no one ever asked Trump that. He's always like, "They say that
Who's
I'm
they?
the most brilliant." Like, who's they? Be
Who's
like,
they?
The people.
Who's
They
what
did.
people?
You can hear some unhinged responses when you ask someone to clarify what they mean by they. You'll hear some wild shit. I promise you, listeners. And someone in the future conversations like, they say that, pickles are jarred in peanut butter. You could be like, who is they?
Oh my
Give
God.
me specific names.
It's like, who is this they? And I'm like, I need names, full of names and their addresses because I need to go talk to them. Excuse me. Why the hell did you tell him that? But yeah, I saw mostly the stuff about what Joy Taylor said. So this is a clip from the lawsuit. Around August 2016, Miss Faraji, that is the hairstylist who's making the allegations, attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband and Mr. Dixon and his wife. Oh, fun times. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. Whew, Fox Sports. Issued a statement on Sunday night stating, "We take these allegations seriously and have no further comment at this time given this pending litigation." But the network carried on with business as usual on Monday, causing quite a stir on social media when both Acho and Taylor resumed their hosting duties on the facility and speak respectively as if nothing happened. Yeah, because again, Fox Sports is not ESPN. There would have been no, we're going to watch something else. It'll be like ESPN, the Ocho. We've been watching dodgeball. I'm sorry. We're not having this. But it's like, she's relatively quiet. Emmanuel Acho is quiet. Yay, don't say anything. Sir, we don't want to hear from you because you have terrible ice cold takes. Your sports takes are debatable. Some of them are not good. But, that's neither here nor there. I don't know. Brandon, what have you been hearing about all of this?
Honestly, I just learned about this yesterday when I listened to the Van Lathan podcast.
Oh, boy. I haven't listened to that. Oh, boy.
I don't really pay attention to too much. I try not to go on too many, the gossip things or even ESPN and stuff like that. Like, not that this is gossip, just like a serious allegation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just was catching up on it, based on what Van and his Rachel Lindsay, I think, what they were saying about the whole situation, how they they know Joy personally and stuff like that, and yeah, I mean, hopefully justice is served, whatever is the true situation, right? That's what I'm hoping for, because I don't know enough about these people. I can't speak about their character. I don't know enough about the situation. I just know Skip Bayless isn't a great dude from what I've heard or read. That's the biggest thing I know about that.
The best.
And so, I really don't have a personal take on it.
Yeah.
Other than I'm not surprised that there'd be some wild shit happening at this place, though.
Yeah, it's like I chalk it up to, I'm not surprised, but I'm still disappointed because I really hope that what she is saying in this allegation and this lawsuit is not true. I'm like, I hope Joy is not trash like this, saying, I'm just going to say that he essayed me. I'm like, okay, I have an issue with this, but that's neither here nor there. But I also saw people going like, I don't know who this hairstylist is, but I know who Joe Taylor. Why is she going to lie? I'm like, so we're going to let this play out. But Stephen A. Smith, who was Skip Bayless's co-star for several reasons, he's still on that show. And again, I keep telling y'all, now, Stephen A. Smith did not get enough votes at the black people meeting to be the representative for black people. So please stop thinking that he is. He did not get the votes. He's very, very bitter about this. He does not speak for us. He is not a Lorax. He does not speak for the trees. Stop thinking that he does. But he did a clip. Apparently, he has this show, and he also has his own podcast. And he talked about, he's like, I really can't talk about it And he said, yeah, I've known Skip for a little time. It's like, no, I find out how to hate because he's so cheap. I mean, his like vice is I'm Diet Mountain Dew. And I was sitting here like, now, Steven, you could just say, I really hope this is not true. This is not the person that I knew. You can say that. However, you can say, oh, he's cheap and he likes Diet Mountain Dew. Unless you know if how he likes his dick sucked or if he likes to eat pussy from the back, you can shut up. It's like, sir, it's like, you don't know this about Skip Bayless. You don't know that. You don't know if this man cheats on his wife because he's been with Ernestine for many a moon. I really am sad that I know so much about Skip Bayless. I'm like, how the hell do I know that? I'm like, again, because I used to watch Undisputed. He's talking about Ernestine, but it's like, you could just say like, hey, we know her, and it's like, it's disappointing that you see your friend in that. I'm fine with you saying that, but like, oh no, because he's frugal. That got to do with buying pussy. Allegedly, or offering to pay for it. Like, what does that have to, like, I don't unless y'all was sitting around like y'all are Swaggy P and D-Lo, and he was like literally secretly recording you like, so you cheated on Iggy, huh? Sorry, that popped up on my IG recently. I'm like, oh God, I remember that. So it's like, I'm like, Steven, see, this is why you didn't get enough votes to be one of the speakers for black people on the internet. That's why you don't get it. Okay? We're going to see how this plays out. I'm kind of like you. I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Why are y'all talking about Joy Taylor? What did Jason Taylor's sister do now? She ain't do nothing but be pretty. And always, like, she always looks so cute. So it's like, that's all I know. But it's like, girl, please don't tell me she is a mean girl. Because it sounds like what she's detailing, it sounds like mean girl behavior. And I really don't want to think that. So we're just going to see how this shakes out. Because I'm like, girl, Jason Taylor probably like, damn, now y'all bringing me up. It's like, I am retired somewhere. Damn it. But do y'all remember me? Because, hello, Miami Dolphins. Nobody's talking about the Dolphins, babe. It's back to being football purgatory. Y'all couldn't even keep Odell Beckham for a whole season.
Well, damn.
You know that's bad. But, hello, this is why I like being a Ravens fan, because we're kings of the North. See? Another Game of Thrones reference. See? That's all I got. It's really funny. Okay, y'all, this is sidebar, because we are like putting a button in it and we're wrapping up. But I would just like to say, I like making comedians laugh. I'm like, oh my God, you're a comedian and I made you laugh. See? That's how I feel secretly.
That's
not so secret.
You said some hilarious shit.
I was like, just secretly, oh my God, I made a comedian laugh. I'm sorry. But,
I mean, it's just laughter's just like it should be a universal thing. You know,
it really
it's
should be.
You know, it's
it really
I think people are too reserved, and I think people forgot to laugh sometimes. I think you know, and hopefully if there's one thing that comes out of like the next 4 years or so, is that people allow themselves to laugh. And with being able to laugh, you have to have nuance, and you have to kind of know someone's intent. And there's a lot of comedians where you could say, okay, this joke is really mean. This joke is meant to be mean. It's not meant to just like, you know, make you think about something in a different way. But I think hopefully we can just have more laughter.
I agree. That's Brandon, I truly appreciate that you are here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to thank you personally for literally lighting a new fire under me for Heroica Minutes. So I appreciate that. You're like,
of course.
I was like, yeah, no. It's funny when I like spring this on people are like, wait, really? I'm like, yeah, I don't lie on this mic. I make jokes. I read things. Lies I don't tell. I can't. I can lie about other things. I'm kidding. I try not to lie because lies make baby Jesus cry. So I try not to take them. But Brandon, please, again, thank you. Please tell everybody how they can find you, Medium Popcorn, and also, again, remind them about the Drunk Black History Tour.
Yes,
the floor is yours.
Thank you. Follow me, folks, at Instagram at Frodo_Blackens,
Why do
FrodoBlackens.com
you do that when I'm about to drink?
for all Brandon Collins stuff. Of course, there's the Medium Popcorn movie review podcast that can be found on all podcast applications and on YouTube,
Yep.
MediaPopcorn.com for those links. And then, of course, the Drunk Black History Tour starting off in Los Angeles on Friday, February 21st at the Dynasty Typewriter. It'll also be live streamed. Get tickets for that at drunkblackhistory.com. And then we're closing out Black History Month February 28th at Littlefield in Brooklyn. Also, drunkblackhistory.com for those tickets. And then the following Thursday, March 6th, I'm in Austin at the Creek in the Cave doing another Drunk Black History show, which may or may not feature my co-host Justin Brown from Medium Popcorn. So again, drunkblackhistory.com for those tickets. Hope to see y'all on the road. And thank you so much for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate this. Everybody, this has been the Mocha Minutes Podcast. I will be back. I can't believe I'm saying this next week. So thank you again, Brandon. And guys, thank you so much for listening. Bye.